If you struggle with procrastination, then this is a meditation that I have developed, a practice I've developed for you. And really, it's also for me because I am also guilty of procrastination. So this meditation is very simple. It's called the doing meditation. And it's something that I stumbled upon when I was trying to figure out why is it that when I say that I'm going to do something, I end up going off on tangents, looping off and on some wild goose chase, going on a side quest that has nothing to do with the thing that I said that I was going to do, that I know that I have to do, until I'm running out of time and suddenly the panic forces me to actually do the thing. I got sick and tired of this, and I started to notice this was happening in multiple areas of my life, both in simple tasks, daily tasks, but also in terms of large-scale, tasks over the course of months or even years of my life. Looking back, I realized that I was procrastinating there as well, going off on tangents and side quests, instead of just doing the thing that I said that I was going to do, that I felt my heart and my soul calling and pulling me towards. I would go off on these wastes of time and energy. And so I started to really try and figure out what is it that is happening here and how do I work with it? How do I stop procrastinating? So what I've developed, one really powerful tool is this doing meditation. And I'm going to explain how it works. It's very simple, and then I'll explain some of the nuances of it. So the doing meditation is what it sounds like. You do something. Now, you choose some task for yourself to do. And this could be, doing the dishes. Let's keep it simple. So you know that you have to do the dishes. So you say, okay, at this time, could be right now or at a certain time in the future, and better to do it right now. Clear yourself some space and time, choose one task and say, I'm going to do this one task. And watch your mind. If you don't want to do this task, if it's a task that you really do not like, then your mind is going to start to try and come up with tangents and other things that take priority, or other things that you want to do first, and then that, and then the other. It'll start to split off in all of these branching directions. When that starts to happen, first notice that it's happening, and just cut that off and come back to the center. Come back to that task that you said that you were going to do. And again, focus on the dishes. Notice there's another distraction, another forking of the mind. Notice it's happening. Come back to the dishes. Keep on coming back to the dishes. Keep on coming back to whatever task you chose for yourself to do in that moment. Now, if you can go ahead and do the task just by noticing that your mind is branching off and bringing back to focus, amazing. Sometimes that's all it takes. You just have to notice that your mind is splitting and bring it back to focus, and you can actually go ahead and complete the task. For something that is harder for you to do, let's say the dishes is like level 2 out of 10 in terms of difficulty. Let's say you want to do this with something that is a lot harder to do. For me, I'll use a personal example, promotion, marketing. I really don't like it. And yet this is the work that I do. I promote myself, I promote my work so that I can help people. So I can, the people that are meant to work with me can find me, and I can help them heal, I can help them grow, I can help them approach or navigate non-duality. And I really, really don't like to promote myself. And so for this task, this is usually a more complicated task. It's not something I can do in one sitting, in one go. And it's something that I've been procrastinating on in various ways for months. And if I'm honest, probably years. I should have been doing things that years ago that I'm only really now starting to get around to. Maybe there's something like that in your life that you can connect with. So with something that is big and hairy like this, the meditation applies the same way. You focus on what it is that you need to do. And ideally, you focus on something that is the first step, not something that is 5 or 10 steps down the line, but the first step that you know you need to complete in order to make headway. And it could be helpful to actually write this all down first. What are the steps I need to take, and what is the very, very first one? Forget all the rest, just focus on that first step. Now you have that first step in front of you. Now it's just like the dishes. Notice there's the first step. You've set aside some time. It's time to do it. Your mind is going to start to split. It's going to say, no, but first we need to go and do this other thing. No, there's another priority. No, it makes up all of these distractions, all of these excuses, all of these splitting paths. And it's doing that because of fear. That is why we procrastinate. It is the root cause of all our procrastination. We are afraid to take the step and do it. And we can get into all the psychology of why we're afraid. It could be afraid of failure. It could be afraid of success. It could be a fear of, for me, putting myself out there and people criticizing me and saying mean, nasty things. You have your own fears. I have mine. And the thing to do, once you start to notice that, okay, you have the thing in front of you, the first step, and the fear is starting to come up. Let's say it's not enough just to put aside all of those distractions and keep focused. You have a kind of block. You have something that is just, you can't make yourself take that one step. The thing to do now is to relax. This is where kind of more classic meditation comes in. You breathe, you settle your nervous system. By doing that, you are counteracting the very force of fear that is showing up to try and prevent you, and by preventing you, protect you from taking that step. And it seems strange because this is a thing that you know is going to be good for you probably. It's not something you know is going to have terrible consequences maybe if you don't do. But this fear is there to protect you. Breathe, relax, and when your nervous system calms down, not only will it be more easy for you to focus on what it is that you have to do, but there you can actually take that first step. Now, if you are still finding that the task in front of you is difficult to do, you may have chosen a task that is too big. You might, for example, for me, there is I wanted to start promoting on different channels, different forums, and that just sitting down and doing the promotion was too big. So I had to take a smaller version of that step. I'm just going to write down a few channels that I think I can promote on. I did that. That felt easy. That felt light. I did it, and then I moved it aside and went on with my day. The next day, I then felt too much resistance to actually go to those channels and post. So I said, okay, what are the 3 or 4 most important channels, or the ones that I think I'm going to, be able to have the most success in, or the audience is going to connect most with me, and I just chose those. Okay, easy. I put that aside, went on with my day. And then by the 3rd day, I could actually go to those channels, and it's like, okay, I'm going to just post to one of these 3 or 4 channels that I narrowed it down to. I'm going to post something very small, just to introduce myself. Again, breathing, reducing my anxiety, reducing the nervous system stress, making it a manageable, small step, and focusing, noticing when my mind wants to wander or split off, and kind of pruning those paths like with pruning shears, clipping them off, and returning to the thing that I said I was going to do, that I know that I want to do. And then very gently taking that step, taking that action. So this process that I've described to you, choosing something, choosing a task to do, watching the mind as it splits off and tries to offer these other branches, pruning them off, keeping that focus, and then narrowing down a big task into a small step, calming the nervous system, and taking that step. One step, then another step, then another step, following the same process, calming the nervous system, staying focused, not letting your mind branch off. This becomes like a kind of walking meditation, except it's you're not walking, really, you're doing something. You're doing a particular task. And I use the examples of dishes or something that is scary or around your business or something that you have to do around work. But really, this can be used for any task that you're doing in your life. And as I've practiced this, I've found that my mind starts to settle down and starts to become more clear on what is it that I need to be doing in this moment. What are the thoughts that are showing up in my mind at this moment? What are the fears and the resistance that I feel showing up? And ironically, this way of going through my day it's actually has been more powerful than just sitting and meditating on a cushion. Because on a cushion, you might notice some of these same things. But the real drawback is that we think that, the real drawback of primarily doing this on a cushion is that when you get up off the cushion and go to your regular life, all of that usually flies out the window. And you're back into your regular cycles, your regular fears, your regular ingrained habits. The advantage of the doing meditation is that you're actually doing a meditation throughout your whole day. Every act that you do, from sweeping the floor to buying groceries to doing marketing work on your business or for something for your career, every act can be an occasion for, and really should be an occasion for, breathing, calming the nervous system, watching the mind, and putting into practice what we do on the meditation cushion in real life, in everyday action. And that's really where it matters. It really makes the most difference when we actually show up and do the thing. Bring that peace and that presence into our everyday lives. That's why we do this work. And the doing meditation is something that I think is not only good for procrastination, it is good for really cleaning up your mind so that you can really work on whether your life or spiritual practice in a much more stable and attentive and present way.